You know, there are some books that they stay with you. And Ecclesiastes is one of them. It's haunting. It's brutally honest. We usually think of wisdom as something we gather for the journey ahead, right? A map for the road. But Ecclesiastes, that's not what this is. This is the wisdom that comes after the experiment of life is over. It's wisdom born from a deep, profound weariness.
The entire book really hangs on this one single, almost terrifying question. I mean, think about it. What if you do everything you're supposed to do? You build a life, you follow all the rules, you achieve everything you set out to achieve, and then, at the very end, you look back and you realize you missed the point. You missed the entire point.
So right from its very first words, this book confronts you. The speaker calls himself Kohelet. It's a Hebrew word that means something like one who gathers and weighs thoughts. So he's not a prophet claiming a message from on high. No, he's a thinker, and he's inviting us to listen in on his own internal debate. And his opening statement? Well, it is absolutely staggering.
Just let that sink in. Meaningless. Meaningless. The entire project of life, he declares, is ultimately meaningless. I mean, what a way to begin, right? It's shocking, but it's also brutally honest. He's starting at rock bottom, at absolute zero. But this is so important. The Hebrew word he uses for meaningless is hevel. And this doesn't mean evil or bad. It means a breath, a vapor. You know, like the mist you see on a cold morning. It's there for a moment, and then it's just gone. So he's not saying life is bad. He's saying it's fragile, it's temporary. It's just unable to carry the immense weight of meaning we try to load onto it. So with that as his starting point, the teacher begins a methodical experiment. He is going to test everything this world has to offer, everything we chase after to find meaning. And he sets this one crucial boundary for his entire search. He will only look under the sun. In other words, he's only going to look at life from a purely horizontal, earthly perspective.
And he's got a clear roadmap. He's going to investigate the four great promises of a meaningful life: our achievements and our work, our knowledge and wisdom, our pleasure and entertainment, and of course, our wealth and possessions. He's going to try it all.
First up, he turns to the place so many of us start, our work. The pursuit of building things, of great accomplishments. And we need to be clear, this isn't just some guy talking. This is a man who truly did it all. He built cities, he ruled an empire, he reached the absolute pinnacle of human achievement. And his conclusion, it's pretty bleak. Achievement, he finds, doesn't deliver permanence. It only delivers repetition. It can keep you busy, for sure, but it can never tell you why you're busy. It's just a wheel that turns and turns and turns, but never actually arrives anywhere.
All right, so if achievement is just a spinning wheel, what about wisdom? If our work can't be the answer, maybe understanding can. So the teacher devotes himself completely to study, to learning, to the pursuit of wisdom as an end in itself.
But what he discovers is this painful paradox. More wisdom doesn't fix the world's problems. It just reveals them more clearly. It doesn't stop injustice. It doesn't stop death. It just gives you a front-row seat to the whole tragedy. And wisdom, by itself, simply leads to more sorrow.
So, if work is a cycle and wisdom is a sorrow, what's left? The teacher does what so many of us do when meaning starts to fade. He turns to pleasure. Not just, crude partying, but cultivated entertainment, laughter, and fine living. The good life.
And he finds that even laughter eventually starts to ring hollow. Pleasure is a powerful distraction, but that's all it is. A distraction. It can only postpone the question of meaning. It can never, ever answer it.
And that brings us to the final test in his experiment: accumulation, possessions, ownership. The teacher amasses silver and gold. He denies himself absolutely nothing his eyes desired.
And what does he find there? Not satisfaction. He finds anxiety. See, wealth promises us control, but what it ultimately does is expose how helpless we really are. Because in the end, you can't take it with you. You come with nothing, and you leave with nothing.
So work, wisdom, pleasure, wealth, they all fail. And they all fail because they all run into the same great wall that stands at the end of every human path, the one variable that none of them can overcome: death.
Death is the great equalizer. It renders all of our worldly distinctions temporary. If this life under the sun is all there is, then death just empties everything of its ultimate meaning. The wise and the foolish, the rich and the poor, they all end in the same dust.
So after this brutal, honest tour of life's dead ends, the book makes this pivotal turn. A crucial shift. The teacher, having exhausted the horizontal view, finally lifts his eyes. The whole perspective is about to change.
Think about that phrase he keeps using, under the sun. It shows up nearly 30 times. It's the frame for the entire experiment. It represents life with a restricted vision. Life looked at horizontally, but never vertically. And that, he realizes, is the source of the despair.
And here is the answer to the ache. The reason nothing under the sun can satisfy us is because we were not made only for what is under the sun. We are eternal beings living in temporary conditions, and that fundamental mismatch is the source of all our restlessness.
So, where does all this leave us? Well, the teacher doesn't just return to some naive optimism. He arrives at a final, earned wisdom. It's a clarity that is only possible after all the other illusions have been tested and have failed.
Here's a helpful way to think about it. The book of Proverbs gives you wisdom before the journey begins. It's like the map for the road ahead. But Ecclesiastes, this is the wisdom you gain after you've taken all the wrong turns, after you've explored every single detour, and you've finally found your way home.
This is the conclusion of the whole matter. It's not a call to joyless moralism. It's a call to realism. To fear God is to see life in its proper frame. It's the orientation, the perspective that finally makes sense of everything else. It's what gives weight and purpose back to our choices.
And ultimately, this is why this difficult book is such a gift. Its whole purpose is to save us from having to learn these lessons the hard way. The teacher ran the brutal experiment for us, so that we don't have to.
He came back with the results. And the warning is clear. Meaning cannot be manufactured from the materials of this world alone. The course has been run. The report is in. The only question left is, will we listen?